heaven and hell. No one truly knows what awaits after death. With 8 billion humans alive, 0 proven facts exist among us. Instead, we possess countless theories crafted over millennia by people attempting to solve the mystery. Several bring peace, others are bizarre, and a few will completely shatter your current assumptions. The most common belief is straightforward. After passing, your spirit faces judgment, leading to an everlasting destination. The righteous ascend, the wicked descend. Everlasting outcomes based on an 80-year trial period. But consider this, the imagery we usually imagine, fluffy clouds, harps, demons, flaming pits, derives more from a 14th century Italian author than from authentic scriptures. Dante's Inferno influenced society's vision of the underworld far more than biblical texts. You have treated a medieval author's fictional work as undeniable religious truth all along. Purgatory. This concept was created to fix a loophole. Paradise or damnation makes sense for pure saints and absolute villains, but what about the average person? Purgatory is Catholicism's solution, a temporary phase where spirits undergo cleansing prior to reaching paradise. It isn't eternal torment, but rather a refining procedure. You will enter, you merely require some washing beforehand. Now this is the fascinating part. The practice of bribing the clergy to rush spirits through this phase, known as indulgences, grew so profitable and blatantly unethical that it became a primary complaint driving Martin Luther King to publish his 95 Theses back in 1517. A single spiritual waiting area unintentionally split the Western Christian world apart. That is a massive historical impact for a simple spiritual compromise. Resurrection. This does not involve your spirit floating to a tranquil place. This means your physical flesh returns. Your entire self is rebuilt, brought back to existence within a renewed earth. This is a core pillar of Christianity, where Christ's revival serves as the blueprint and guarantee. It is present in Islam, where bodily revival happens before the final judgment. You can also find it in Jewish scriptures dating back to Daniel. Your physical form isn't discarded, you reclaim it. The glaring issue is this: if your corpse rotted away, was burned to ash, or was tossed into the ocean, what precisely is revived? Religious scholars have debated this for ages. The most common consensus suggests an upgraded physical form instead of just gathering the old atoms, which sparks the debate of what truly defines you. A puzzle scholars have equally spent ages debating, resulting in very little agreement. Reincarnation. Rebirth. You existed previously. You will exist again. Your next vessel relies on your past behavior. Within Hinduism, a singular spirit migrates from one physical form to another throughout time. Conversely, Buddhism teaches that no fixed identity actually travels. What persists resembles an ongoing stream of awareness, akin to a fire lighting a new wick, rather than an identical spark relocating whole. The process is similar, but the foundational philosophies contrast sharply. Here is the aspect most struggle to accept. If rebirth is factual and karma functions as taught, then your present situation, your riches, your pain, your societal perks are the exact result of choices made during an existence you have forgotten. A child born destitute deserved it. A child born wealthy deserved it as well. This doctrine makes logical sense internally. However, the societal consequences of accepting it are vastly different.
Karma realms.
Karmic domains exist within this cyclical system. Your next destination is not left to chance. It's decided by the total measure of your deliberate deeds. The Buddhist universe outlines
6 possible realms: gods, humans, hungry ghosts, hell beings, animals, and demigods.
being born immortal is viewed as lucky, mainly because living as a mortal brings just enough pain to encourage the pursuit of spiritual freedom. The divine domains seem ideal, but are truly a snare. Excessive luxury leaves no drive to break free from rebirth. You float through eras of sheer joy, only to eventually plummet again. The starving spirit domain is truly haunting. Entities possessing massive bellies, but throats as narrow as a pin, constantly famished, bodily incapable of ingesting sufficient nourishment to quench their immense desire. This serves as a universal metaphor for addiction. Early Buddhist teachings illustrated the mental torment of uncontrollable urges with an accuracy that contemporary brain science is only now confirming. Moksha and Nirvana. Neither of these represents a superior afterlife. They are the termination of the whole process. Moksha is Hinduism's concept, the freeing of the personal spirit from the endless loop of reincarnation, merging once more with the supreme awareness that forms the foundation of reality. The water droplet reunites with the sea rather than flying to paradise. It's the total erasure of individual identity. Nirvana is the equivalent in Buddhism, and its founder generally declined to define it, which is highly revealing. It involves smothering the desires and lack of awareness that power the wheel of rebirth. Whatever is left over is devoid of human personality as we understand it. Consider this fact. Both belief systems hold this as the ultimate objective, not an upgraded future existence, nor an eternal utopia, the absolute cessation of the very engine that creates physical bodies at all. The eternity that humanity naturally desires, continued survival with upgraded conditions, is exactly what these faiths aim to break free from. The ultimate fantasy for the masses is exactly what devoted monks are desperately fleeing.
Ancestor and spirit realm.
The domain of spirits and forefathers. This is likely the oldest concept ever developed, found universally. Long before sacred texts existed, departed souls were believed to persist in a space parallel to our own, close enough to influence outcomes and vital enough to honor through ceremonies. Practices in West Africa, Shintoism in Japan, rural Chinese faiths, and native belief systems worldwide all feature this. The minor details vary, yet the core architecture remains the same. The deceased haven't vanished, they exist in another layer, remaining connected, and this bond demands.
Those alive must provide the departed with tributes, memory, and respectful resting places. As compensation, the forebears offer safety and wisdom. It is a mutual partnership that isn't severed by mortality, it merely alters its state. Even within societies that formally promote vastly contrasting doctrines, Catholic petitions to holy figures function on virtually the exact same principle. A large portion of humanity, no matter what religious labels they wear, harbor a silent gut feeling that their past loved ones are hovering close by. This primal feeling is demonstrably ancient and incredibly tough to logically erase from a person's mind. The absence of an afterlife. This represents the strict scientific viewpoint. Sentience is simply an action the brain performs. Once the biological computer powers down, awareness ends. A spirit cannot travel elsewhere because a spirit never existed initially. The philosopher Epicurus presented a rational argument regarding why this shouldn't induce panic. Prior to your birth, you lacked existence, which brought you zero suffering. Passing away simply places you back in that identical void. Fearing your demise under this framework is a logical flaw. You will not possess the awareness to perceive your own non-existence. This logic is perfectly sound, yet practically worthless in real life. Hearing that utter nothingness is acceptable since you won't feel it offers zero solace to your current, living mind that strongly wishes to continue surviving. This represents a factual response to a dilemma our emotional instincts aren't truly concerned with. The scientific stance could very well be accurate. The majority of brain researchers support a variation of this idea. However, it proves that factual accuracy and emotional reassurance are entirely disconnected concepts. Agnostic unknown. The agnostic perspective. This represents the most logically sound stance, yet hardly anyone truly practices it. We lack the answer. The proof remains inadequate. This mystery might reside forever outside the boundaries of human comprehension. That is all. Zero assertions made either way. The thinker David Hume highlighted that brushes with death, divine hallucinations, and individual anecdotes fail to prove what individuals believe they prove. Every single one is generated by an active biological brain. They might stem from completely biological causes. He was not shutting down the inquiry entirely. He was simply stating that the so-called proof individuals reference fails to truly validate anything. But here lies the pitfall. A vast majority of individuals identifying as neutral regarding the grave aren't truly neutral when the situation becomes intimate. When confronted with their own end or a beloved's passing, desperation and terror surface immediately. This exposes a hidden bias functioning beneath their professed neutrality. genuinely withholding one's conclusion is significantly less common and much more difficult than one assumes.
Simulation continuation.
This concept tackles the mystery from an entirely unique perspective. Thinker Nick Bostrom posited that any highly evolved society possesses the technology to operate massive quantities of virtual cosmoses. Assuming this is factual, the sheer volume of artificial worlds dwarfs the original physical universe. By mathematical probability, our existence is practically guaranteed to be artificial. Assuming we are, passing away is simply shutting down a single active application. The outcome relies entirely upon the programmer. Your data might be preserved, duplicated, stored away, or deleted forever. Zero elements within this framework assure an afterlife, yet nothing explicitly forbids in either. The deeply unsettling variation goes like this. Assuming you exist as lines of code, the being operating the matrix possesses an unfettered view of every single idea, emotion, and action you ever produced. Every second of your existence remains recorded deep within their servers. Whether this equates to a digital paradise or the most invasive spying program ever conceived relies completely upon the motives of the creator maintaining the database.
Quantum consciousness.
Here we have the most theoretical scientific approach to this mystery. The vast majority of brain researchers believe it is incorrect, yet it remains fascinating to explore. The physicist Roger Penrose, alongside anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff, hypothesized that our sentience stems from subatomic activities deep within brain cells. This hypothesis is labeled orchestrated objective reduction. The crucial takeaway is the following. Subatomic data can never be truly eradicated. It may scatter, mutate, or become jumbled. However, the core data itself is protected under fundamental scientific rules. Assuming our self-awareness possesses subatomic properties, then the data forming your intelligence does not evaporate once the physical organ shuts down. It merely scatters outward into the cosmos. Not an individualized afterlife. Instead, your energetic footprint endures without a physical vessel. Some scientists take this a step beyond, suggesting self-awareness is never generated by our biology to begin with. The mind merely channels it, just as a magnifying glass concentrates a sunbeam. Dying destroys the glass, but not the sunbeam itself. This represents a massive difference. Unfortunately, it remains practically impossible to prove with modern technology, which perfectly explains why such concepts persist primarily in theory.
Eternal Recurrence.
This specific idea ought to deeply disturb you. Nietzsche suggested it in the 1800s. Assuming the universe contains limited physical particles and power, yet stretches endlessly across time, every conceivable combination of atoms is bound to loop eventually, meaning this reality, meaning you, your current existence, each choice, resulting outcome, humiliating failure and heartbreak, looping flawlessly throughout eternity without a single alteration or escape hatch. You are destined to experience this repeatedly forever. Each decision you finalized, you will finalize once more. Each painful mistake loops. Each memory you desperately want to erase loops. Escaping ahead to a different future is impossible. Only this existence locked on a loop. Nietzsche used this as a psychological test. Assuming you were utterly convinced you were forced to repeat your precise timeline an endless number of times, would you desire that? Would you alter your path if allowed? A vast majority discover they possess a rapid response to this query. He believed the unease triggered by this realization offered the most valuable insight imaginable. A vast majority choose to avoid facing it head-on. This is probably the reason this particular concept disturbs humanity significantly more than the rest. The alternatives remain shrouded in mystery. This specific theory merely demands absolute honesty.